Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Patch 1.022 has finally just been announced 20 minutes ago, and guess what? I'm going to do a full first impressions. Let's have a look at what is upcoming and how soon this is all coming to us in Call of Dragons. Hello, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos of me, MrSneakyy, and I'm not gonna lie guys, it's a very cold one. That's why we're in the nice fleece for once, but nicely in this morning, patch 1.022 has dropped in everyone's mail. So do you know what? We're gonna go through it like always. We're gonna give you guys, all the details and what you need to look out for, because guess what? This is coming very soon. We thought it might have come maybe in February, but this patch is landing on the 24th of January, which is honestly the day after my birthday. So that's going to be a fun one. So obviously I'm going to do a birthday stream, and we've got this new patch stream coming out as well. So look forward to that on the 24th. So let's see what is actually coming down, right? So the new season T1 Rage of Dragons is coming. After completing Season 2 Plus, players will begin a whole new season. A new map of Tamaris, allowing more intense combat, brand new season policies allowing you to formulate your own unique strategies, and introducing the new amazing season talent system where you want to focus on melee, ranged, or building or infantry defense. It's all up to you. So let's look at this. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to talk about it a little bit maybe different to some people, right? Because honestly, this is good on the top side, right? I really like the points 1.1 and 2 that we're going back to Tamaris, because that map was fantastic. And hopefully they don't change too much of it to make it, not as good as the other two renditions we've had of it before in the past. So we're hoping it's still going to be good. And obviously the new season policies is really good. But I wonder how this new season talent system is going to work. Why am I saying that? Because people who've played maybe Rise of Kingdoms might understand where I'm coming from when I say this, and it is always dependent on how it's implemented, right? But this could be the equivalent of Crystal Tech in Rise of Kingdoms, right? This is a season talent system where you can focus on melee attacks, ranged, building, and defense, right? So I wonder what it's gonna do. I wonder how it works. Obviously, there's no real information here, and it's one of them things where I hope it's not another system that puts a big gap between free-to-play players and those spenders, right? Because the thing is, which has been the big uproar, in my personal opinion, that's been all over most of my videos, is just how more pay to win this game is slowly becoming, and they're ignoring just basically the foundational, the fundamentals of the game that makes it free to play friendly. So we'll see how it goes, but that is point one, right? Nicely cooked up. So number two, we've got the two new heroes. We've got an artifact here, new war pets, and even more adjustments. So let's have a look. The new hero, Bertrand, is going to be a magic PvP and skill-based hero, and he's going to be available off the Lucky Spin and Wheel of Destiny events. So I did call it right, guys. I did call it right. I was just guessing and assuming, but I even got this next bit, which I found even more cooler. TOHAR being a magic garrison support hero that is going to be on the Strongest Lord or the Wheel of Destiny. And I find that amazing. We've got technically now a new hero in the meta for this new potential future, where we might be seeing a rally and garrison, more combat included with the open field. Because at the moment, all we have is really massive open field fighting, right? So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be obviously impressed to see how he works, because like I said, I only guessed garrison because of TOHAR having an element of defense, which is earth, right? So very cool thing, right? So new two heroes, Wheel of Destiny for both of them, and then Lucky Spin for Bertrand, TOHAR, Strongest Lord. Called it right. We all know this, right? So let's go. Next bit. New artifact. Artifact Mirage Orb. Yes, Mirage Orb. Magic PvP and Assault. It's obviously going to be available in the Forge of Light and Riches of Forest event. So we're going to have to wait to see how this comes up. But then we've got some new epic artifacts being added. Sunflame Hammer, Guardian's Runic Longsword, Steelheart Avenger, Lakeside Rhapsody, and Dagger of Betrayal are all available from the Forge of Light event. So I'm kind of wondering how this is going to work, because is this basically now they're making the Forge of Light event specifically give you all of these maybe cooler, epic artifacts instead of the ones that are in your gold keys, making it a bit more valuable to actually run the Forge of Light event, right? Because you'd run the Forge of Light event for this kind of heat pool with the included legendaries instead of going for the standard thing, which makes more sense in my eyes, right? So we'll see how all of these are in game. We'll see if it's worth it and obviously update you. So now we've got 2 new war pets, and we did see them and we did check and assume this could be a little sneak peek teaser, which we've called again correct. The war pets, Shadow Phaedrake. So that's the one that was behind the Bertrand in that little photo, and Broombear is what the TOHAR was lying next to. So really cool, we're going to be able to see these 2 new war pets. Again, you guys know already on this channel, more stuff coming out. We're going to give you guys the whole download, right? We're going to bring out all the guides. So don't worry. Don't put the comments below, are you going to make a video on these? We are. Don't worry, we're going to do everything, right? That's what we do on the MrSneakyy channel. So remember, just sub, and if you sub, you'll know whenever all of our videos go live and when we cover anything on Call of Dragons. So improved turrets. Each player can now build a maximum of 2 turrets. Previously 3, construction cooldowns now 5 hours, previously 3 hours. So this is basically trying to resolve the turret spam, and this is actually a really cool suggestion because a lot of the content creators, including myself, did advocate for a reduction in the amount of turrets, and maybe with the reduction in turrets, then, you know, you might not have this very predominant, you know, open field turret spam meta which we're seeing, right? So having 2 is good, because the thing is, people might ask why not just 1, and the thing is 1 might have worked perfectly fine, but the thing is 2 could also work perfectly fine, but we won't know that without testing it. So I like the fact that they're going down to 2, testing out 2 to see if 2 is fine and not too crazy and not too spammable, and allowing you to actually push through, right? And if it isn't, guess what? They can just reduce it down to 1, which was basically what I initially suggested. I initially suggested just 1 turret for every player. Seems fine, because again, if you've got 200 players in an alliance, 200 turrets, with a second alliance at 400, right? So this is going kind of crazy on how many turrets could be potentially built on a, you know, turret. So they slightly reduced the damage dealt by turrets as well, increasing a resource required to build them. So I like it. I actually kind of like this. It's loads of soft changes to turrets. Basically, they've nerfed turrets, right? They've made it so it costs more, you do less damage, and it takes more time to put them out there, which is basically more of an investment, right? Which I think is what they want, right? They want turrets to be just a building that you kind of put up, maybe if you've got some spare resources, as like a small investment that you can upgrade over time and obviously help you on the open field as like an additional march, basically, right? Nothing too mental. So Spires can no longer attack Alliance behemoths, but they've increased the damage dealt by Spires. So that's an interesting change, because that means Spires can still attack all of your, your units, the flags, and the Alliance fortresses if you take control of the Spire when you're in that zone, because we've seen some very cool gameplay involving that, right? So interesting that they've only stopped it on Alliance Behemoth. So we're going to see how that change works. And now they've adjusted a lot of war pet skill values. So Spirit Blue, with every 155 points of Spirit, will hit an extra. So basically they've buffed it. They've made it basically 5 less, so you hopefully get more. Split Ice Core is now 150 instead of 160, which is a bit, a nicer buff, right? So we can see 2 buffs here, which is really good. You will now receive recommendations for of which skills to teach your war pet. So basically here, obviously I've got all my guides, and all the other content creators have got their guides for the war pets, but they're adding in a system so you obviously can just have an understanding on what basic skills are good, and okay, these will work, nothing too silly, right? They've improved the appearance of city buildings, which is kind of cool, nice sleek style. And then the other improvements is they significantly increased the maximum number of occupiers in villages in Season 2 and future seasons. So I want to know how much this is going to be, because this is a really good change, right? I still think, personally, you should just make it unlimited / maybe the maximum of a alliance. That would make more sense, so you have 200 slots, so you're not fighting over them. So this is a significant increase, right? So we're going to see how much of this significant increase is this 50 slots? Is it 30 slots? Does that count as significant, right? We're going to have to wait and see. So we'll see how this is. And you can now retain up to 100,000 merit per week, which is so much better, especially for players like myself that were, doing some quick, farming of merits. And, once you've got them and you maybe chilled out and you've emptied your store, well, you've got nothing left. And obviously going all the way down to 20k and when there's no fighting potentially is kind of crippling, right? So it's nice to go up to reduce it down to 100k. You can kind of buy quite a lot of stuff with that, like, you could get one extra warrant, for example. You could get a couple of your speed ups, or maybe you just go for all of the elixir healing again. It allows you to kind of make it a little bit easier on the player, which I kind of like. We like that. Reduce the difficulty of capturing beasts in the field. So this is basically your war pets, I believe. Added information on heroes, likes and dislikes, available on the info page, which is cool. And then fixed an issue on Pan's awakened skill. For some reason, it did not reflect the description. So maybe Pan has been basically not being used as a healer, or hasn't been used correctly, because again, there's been a big description error. So we'll see how this is. So now we're going to go into some nice better bits. And this is kind of where I like the patch, where I like to see even a richer combat experience. Because the thing is, as you guys know, Call of Dragons has easily the best kind of combat, I think, in a mobile 4x city building game. There's no silly touch. All your ranged units are ranged, and it's everything that you kind of expect in a game that's kind of like a PC game, but actually a mobile, port. So let's go, right? Or artifact skill auto cast and easier casting. Artifact skill casting is now easier. Tap or click the artifact skill icon and system will recommend a suitable target. And if you're happy with the target, tap the icon again and cast your skill. So that's kind of cool. So maybe the way this is going to work, and maybe you can toggle this feature off and on. And if you're a dev and you're listening to this video, maybe add that in just before this goes live. But basically a little feature, you just, you click it, you turn it on and off. And what this does is, like it says, you can click the artifact, and if you use like the Phoenix Eye, it's going to auto target someone that's maybe around 5 targets. And if it does, you can hit that button again and it's going to just do it for you. But if you'd rather hit the button and still manually move it, you can still have that option. So kind of like this, nice little bit of in-depth skill added into the combat here. The new artifact skill casting feature unlocks at city level 10 when necessary conditions are met, and artifact skills will be automatically casted. This feature has a 2-second wait time. Okay. Oh yeah, and you can enable and disable this feature for different artifacts. Love it. Really like that, because that's really good. Because if you're actually doing this for specific artifacts, this can be a game changer, right? And they might not think it, but if you're using something like, for example, I don't know, the like cavalry would have a really good time having this enabled, allowing them to trigger it, so you don't have to think. You're running in, you can go bang bang, and it just goes instantly damage into damage, which would be a beautiful feature to add in the game. But then if you're a mage, you might want that control and disable feature on it on certain artifacts. So I really do like it. Really cool little feature there. Dragon Trail improvements. Certain stages have become a solo escort or a tower defense or a behemoth raid. So that's better. So they've basically made the Dragon Trail just more fun. Instead of just being this boring, 5v5, run it down and see if you can kill them, if you meet the damage check or not. Now they're adding some different stages, so that's really cool. All stages, apart from those above, now support an auto battle feature, which we're going to test out, see if it's any good. You can now multi-create legions, drag legions, and switch them out when deploying. Thank you. This is a really good change. Nice quality of life change there, which we will showcase in. Added simple mode. This is the one I think a lot of players, especially the free-to-players and mobile gamers, are the ones that probably cheering for right now. In the middle of intense battles, a pop-up will appear, allowing you to enable simple mode, reducing the amount of unit information shown on screen and making view less cluttered, making it basically less laggy, so you can see what is actually going on in the game, which is really good. This is a feature in most games. It's about time we've got it added into Call of Dragons. So 4, improved behemoth combat in Season 2. The rules will reset and already taking reduced occupation. So they're reducing the difficulty of the raids. Really good. Reduced occupation and elite raid difficulty for the Giant Bear in Season 2 Plus. Frost Giant, Thunder Rock Hydra, and Necro Giant. Reduce the proportion of wounded wounds. That's really good. So basically what they're doing here, which again we've been waiting for, is a nice, you know, behemoth combat experience. Because I'm not going to lie, guys, it's been ruthless as this Season 2 Plus, everyone will agree, it's been kind of ruthless for you in the behemoth department. And, you know, making it easier is what has been needed, right? So they made it easier, and they've even made it so you lose less units, so your hospital bills ain't going to be as high, which is even better for that. So now let's go into more improvements of the features. Root of War Observation feature. Okay, tap or click buildings to see battle reports for that building. Ooh, I like that. Added a highlights button at the bottom right, allowing you to view particular outstanding PvP battle reports. That's really cool. I like that because I can be making these videos now, you know, spectating you guys in your Roots of War if you guys want me to, and I can be literally clicking these buildings and adding reports and adding that little bit of depth and analysis, you know, layer on top of the video. So I really like that. Really good new feature for the Roots of War. I'm glad they've added this in. It's going to make it so much enjoyable. Number 6, an interest of balance for the following changes have been made to Joyful Labor Talent. Previously, when your Legion was hit with a normal attack while gathering, they have a 100% chance of becoming invulnerable for 60 seconds, right? Now, when your Legion is hit while gathering, they have a 20% chance to become invulnerable and take no damage for a period of this time. This will trigger every 30 minutes. Right, so the way this is, they're basically changing the way the trigger works. That's all they're doing here. Nothing too crazy again. I will see, and maybe we have to update the gathering guide on how this is going to be good. I'm going to have to check it out more in game, obviously, to see what this change does. Is it going to be a 1-pointer? Is it going to be a 5-pointer? Who knows, right? So we'll soon see. Improved deployment screen, nice and easy. Changing the position of multi-screen button, nice and easy. Improvements, fix an issue where artifacts could attack Alliance keeps and rallied armies. Fix the display issue with Madeline's rage skills, Blessed Blade. Fix an issue with artifacts, Fleet and Beauty. Fix an issue with Warpet's skills, Split and Pain Bloom, Super Fierce Attack, Forceful Turn Pace, and would display incorrect values. And an improved combat aggro system as well. So basically here, they've done a load of fixes, but the best one about all the fixes is the last one, because it says infantry legions will now more easily attract enemy attacks in PvE battles, which is great, because that must mean, hopefully, in a behemoth rage, the tank can hold, the aggro a lot easier instead of having to depend on loads of tanks, taunting up. So we're going to see how that one works. Plus, obviously, when you're fighting Darklings, your infantry should keep aggro too, which is going to be great for, again, leveling up, making it a nicer experience. So now, we've got a new enjoyable event. And as I'm reading it, this looks kind of interesting. New Lunar Year event, Dazzling Revelry, is coming. Dazzling Revelry is a 7-day series event with a limited edition city themes, avatar frames, and nameplate. Festival Ball Machine. So we've done this before, right? So the Festive Ball Machine is that machine where you have to do a couple of tasks in the game, right? And you get these tickets to use in the Gumball Machine. You can choose out of 1, 2, or 3, prize pools, and each one has one will have the city theme, one's gonna have the nameplate, one's gonna have obviously the avatar frame, right? But on top of this, each of them will have their own amount of speed ups, resources, legendary hero sculptures for you guys, or stones, for your upgrades. So this is going to be a really interesting one. So we're going to see how that works. We've got Trial of the Beast. Giant bears have been transformed into terrifying Nean beasts. Call upon your friends and join others to take on these legendary monsters. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see what that is going to do. Treasure Hunt. Obviously, we know what treasure hunt is. We're not going to go too crazy on that. We know what Veil Society is. So we've got a bunch of events coming, which is really cool to see. And just in point score requirements. Okay. So they change in proving grounds, basically. So they increase the ratio for converting merits to points and increase the merit conversion limit, which is good. So basically you can earn more merits in there. And the number of points gained for occupying a Supreme Ancestor statue, okay, reduce the point requirements each tier rewards, allowing to gain more rewards easily, okay, so they're making the rewards more easier, so this is going to be a bit of a, I don't know how I like about this, is a weird one, guys. Why? Yes, we can get those rewards easier, which is really nice, but then that kind of puts the thing in perspective that people don't like runic statues, because it's just not fun, or there's not enough rewards for it, right? So maybe if they added more rewards, then that might be a better, you know, starting point instead of making it easier. So we'll see how this goes, though. It's still a positive change. I'm not gonna, you know, put it down. Obviously reducing the difficulty of the dwarves as well inside, really good. Added a large number of daily event quest rewards. This change will take effect. Change begin. Okay. Tap or click the magnifying glass button next to the hero's name on the event screen to see more detailed information, combat record and stuff like that. Okay. Fixed issues with alliance markers. That's cool. So we've got quite a lot, right? So we're going to take a quick break and we are going to regroup and see how we've got so far. So if you've enjoyed the video so far, you know what to do, guys. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. And with all of that, let's go into part 2 of the patch. So here we are. We've got an improved alliance system. Part 5, improved display information of alliance war screens. And I do like this. When an alliance building comes under an attack from multiple members of the same alliance, combat information will be merged together and presented in a single report. Really like that. Added an online and offline indicator to Alliance member screen. When an Alliance member is offline for more than 8 hours, the Alliance leader and tired officers will be able to see how long that member has been offline for. Interesting. That's kind of interesting to see about, you know, high active alliances. They're going to be happy about this. Some players might not like that, but again, if you're trying to be in part of the top tier alliances that require activity, this is going to be a feature for the officers team that they're going to love, right? So I'm not going to hate on it. And then we're coming to the last 2 bits. A more accessible map. Added markers to the strategic map. You can now select any location on a target on the strategic map and lay down an arrow-shaped marker. Interesting. Added new interactions for trader camps and mercenary camps. After completing exploration events on the world map, you have a chance to receive additional rewards. For the sake of balance, this change will take effect the next time you enter the new season where exploration is available. Interesting. And then finally, add a notification feature. Important game information can be relayed to you via Windows system notifications. I like how they've added this to the PC improvements, but the one thing I did ask so much, and they still haven't added it in, and I don't understand why, is to literally make it so we can zoom out a bit more, because at the moment this is the zoom in and then it does that, and to me I feel like now, as you can see, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just so weird. But to me, my screen being this is the perfect field of view for a PC gamer. So like, I want to be able to see all of these tiles and marchers on the screen, but when I'm in this view, you know, when I'm just that one click extra out, because I think when you get to 2 or 3, it's taking advantage of the PC compared to the mobile. But doing it the way I've said would be just a nice quality of life change. So I would hope to see that in the future PC improvements. But what a patch. What a patch. It's got everything you would want. New heroes, new pets, new artifacts, behemoth changes to make it easier. They've done just alliance changes, gameplay changes, merit changes, artifact casting changes. They've done so many changes that honestly I feel like it is a really good thing for the game. And again, when this goes live on the 24th, guys, remember the 24th of January, this is going to go live. Guess what? We will be able to come up and showcase all of this for you guys live on my live stream. So remember what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, showcase some love. We've got over 5,000 subs, which is crazy. So thank you for everyone who subbed, and thank you for the journey, and we're going to continue playing Call of Dragons. So if you want all the information and a nice breakdown, here you go. You can listen to this while you're playing Call of Dragons in the background. So until next video, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.